While the mainstream media and Democrats continue to throw temper tantrums over the work that Doge and Elon Musk are doing, most Americans are happier than ever. According to Real Clear Politics, 4 weeks in, Trump and Doge approval ratings remain high. But they've actually gone even higher. Newsweek reports Elon Musk's Doge gets polling boost. But now support is coming in from an unexpected place. Someone who is not even an American citizen. Canadian businessman Kevin O'Leary, one of the stars of Shark Tank, gave a brutal yet hilarious defense of Doge that left CNN speechless. Enjoy.
I think the issue is they're not whacking enough. There's this concept in private equity when you get a bankrupt company and you go in there, you cut 20% more than your initial read. And then you find, like a pool of mercury, the organization gels back together again. Always cut deeper, harder when there's fat and waste. The FAA, it's not the people. The code is cobalt. It's from the 60s. It needs CapEx put into it for the technology to be upgraded to make it safer. Fat like a chicken. All of these agencies are like big fat chickens dripping over barbecues of fat. This is the best barbecue I've ever seen, but I don't think it's happening fast enough. They're not cutting enough. Keep slashing, keep hacking while you have a 24-month mandate before the midterms. Cut, more cutting. Believe me, it's going to work out just great. Everybody should be happy.
Even people with the nuclear codes, cut them too?
Cut everything. Because if you don't see what they're doing and they can't show you that they're adding value, you whack.
But it's clear.
Now, what I absolutely love about that is he's not even an American citizen. It's not as if he has political skin in the game. So he's not pushing Republican talking points. He's not pushing Democrat talking points. He's able to look from the outside in and give a brutally honest take because all he wants is the financial success of America. He is a businessman after all, and yes, he has done pretty well for himself. He has a net worth of over $400 million, and his brutally honest take is, hey, Doge is off to a great start, but they should be doing more. They should be cutting deeper, working faster. I mean, it is a completely different narrative, a completely different perspective than what the mainstream media is used to broadcasting. Now, to put this all into perspective, Doge's goal is to cut $2 trillion in government waste. That's the goal that they put out for themselves. Well, Polymarket, one of the big betting sites, is actually keeping track of all of this. So far, Doge has saved $49.09 billion, which is 2% of their goal. And this all ends, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, July 4, 2026, just a few months before the 2026 midterm elections. Sorry, I got distracted by the fur babies. I saw them out of the corner of my eye. Now, if you're interested in checking this out, the website is polymarket.com/Doge, and they list all of the savings that Doge has found so far, and it's quite a lot. They actually go through line item by line item, as you can see here, and it shows you on the right how much money has been saved. This was about half of the things they've discovered so far. I wasn't able to get a screenshot of the whole thing. Now, one of the craziest things that Doge has found so far has just been revealed in the last 24 hours. Apparently, the Treasury Department sent $4.7 trillion worth of payments out the door, and not only do we have no idea where that money went, but it is untraceable, untrackable. There is no digital crumb trail that we can follow. Just think about that for a second. Doge has some of the best computer programmers, some of the best engineers, not just in the entire country, but in the entire world. And they can't track this in today's day and time with today's technology. I mean, we all use the internet, right? That's how you're watching my videos. We all know that we have a digital footprint. When you go to a website, when you go to social media, there are cookies, not the kinds you eat, but the kinds that follow you around. Heck, even if you use a VPN, if the government really wanted to track your activity, they'd be able to do that. It would take some work, but they could reverse engineer and figure out where you are, figure out your IP address. But we have no idea where these treasury payments went. According to the Epoch Times, Doge says $4.7 trillion in treasury payments missing identification codes. Now, whenever the Treasury Department sends out a payment, they're supposed to go out with a TAS code, similar to a cookie, or similar to the tracking systems that banks use. It's supposed to track the payment all the way to its destination, but for whatever reason, $4.7 trillion worth of payments unaccounted for and were sent conveniently without TAS codes. I don't know why you would want to do that, but All I know is that if I personally tried to send someone else money and tried to cover my tracks, I would probably get into big trouble with the IRS. Well, the New York Post has more details on this. According to them, the transactions were reportedly missing the Treasury account symbol, TAS, an identification code which links a Treasury payment to a budget line item, according to DOJ, which described the use of such a code as a standard financial process. But without these TAS codes, these payments are untraceable. There is no one, no entity in the entire world that can track where these payments went. Now, with a story as big as this, you would think that the mainstream media would be rushing to cover it. I mean, this is quite the scandal, as if we don't have enough scandals already. This is huge. $4.7 trillion, a lot of money. But of course, the mainstream media isn't touching it. They're not even lying about it. They're just refusing to cover the story, and instead they're devoting their time to attacking Doge, to attacking Elon Musk, to attacking the process. Now, we saw earlier on CNN Kevin O'Leary defending Doge, but there is this other segment of Representative Tim Burchett, and he is being pressed by the CNN news anchor, and she's just hammering him over and over and over on Doge. And finally, after about a minute of pestering, he breaks. He has it, and he's like, you guys are full of it. You guys don't report the truth, and this is why your ratings are in the tank.
Congressman, hold on. I want to go to this question because, again, it's not a question of whether waste should be rooted out of the government. So many people agree with that. But now we're seeing it's the way it's being done. The government is trying to claw back several employees who oversaw nuclear weapons after they were fired. They realized, we made a mistake. We need staffers who oversee nuclear weapons. A professor at the University of Maryland, Don Kettle, who specializes in civil service, told the Washington Post that, yes, the government is likely full of wasteful bloat, but said a clumsy fix is worse than no fix at all, saying it's like going to a meat market, getting a piece of steak, and trying to cut out the fat with a sledgehammer. That would only make a mess of the meat. Do you think, Congressman, that is a fair point, that the way this is being done is clumsy rather than methodical?
Again, you're upset about you're attacking the message carrier, not the results. You talk about nuclear secrets. You had a person who was in charge of nuclear secrets, a man who dressed up as a woman, would go into the airport and steal women's luggage, was overseeing those nuclear secrets under the Biden administration, and I never heard y'all say a peep about that. Again, man,
I don't know anything about that. I'll be transparent.
Elon Musk, you need to look it up. It's all over the internet. It's all over. He was uncharged.
But the question is,
this
is unrelated to the people overseeing nuclear weapons being fired. And Elon Musk himself said, we're moving so fast, of course there will be mistakes. The question is, some of these mistakes are really high stakes. Accidentally firing people overseeing nuclear weapons. Do you see that point?
Humans will make mistakes, ma'am, but currently these are bloated programs. You have no-show employees that are angry that they're having to go back to work, that they've moved, and they're not.
No one's disagreeing. There's bloat and waste.
Jobs were.
No one's disagreeing.
Well, then why are y'all not exposing it? Have y'all even talked about? Hey, Mozambique, we sent them $10 million for circumcisions. Okay. I mean, goodness gracious, ma'am, Americans are paying.
We've been covering at length
salaries.
Where the money is going to.
No, you haven't. All y'all do is run down Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and you continuously do this, and that's why your ratings are in the tank, ma'am. All
right, Congressman Tim Burchett, we're going to leave it there. I do appreciate your time coming on and having this conversation. Thank you very much.
How in the world is she not aware about that Biden official who was stealing luggage at the airport? That was everywhere. And yes, Representative Tim Burchett was right. Non-binary Biden official was traveling on taxpayer dime to secure a nuclear facility when luggage heist occurred. Now, I personally have a hard time believing that CNN news anchor had no idea about the story, but it just proves the double standard and the bias that CNN has when it comes to what stories they choose to cover and what stories they choose to ignore. Either way, it proves their faux outrage when it comes to Elon Musk and Doge. But don't you worry, CNN, they may no longer be the king or queen of fake news. The Associated Press just ran one of the worst hit pieces on Doge I've ever seen. It is truly one of the worst examples of journalism. And the reason I say that is because the Associated Press purports to be true news. They purport to be just straight up journalism. They're not like 24/7 news networks like CNN or MSNBC that fill airtime with opinion pieces or with commentary. They just publish these straight news articles. But they just gave the best example of probably the worst fake news I've seen all year. So one of their authors, one of their writers, Tara Kopp, promoted one of her pieces, and this is what she wrote. At FAA News, FAA staff fired over the weekend included personnel that worked radar, landing and navigational aid maintenance, among others. Hundreds were fired just weeks after a fatal mid-air collision in DC killed 67. One employee said they were harassed on Facebook by Doge prior to being fired. That's how she promoted the piece, and here's what was in the article. Charles Spitzer Statlanter posted on LinkedIn that he was fired just after midnight Saturday, days after he started getting harassing messages on Facebook. The official Doge Facebook page started harassing me on my personal Facebook account after I criticized Tesla and Twitter, he wrote. Less than a week later, I was fired, despite my position allegedly being exempted due to national security. But there's just one problem with that claim. There is no official Doge Facebook account. It doesn't exist. I would challenge you to fact check me. Go find the page, but you can't find it because there isn't one. So he wasn't getting harassed. The writer just took him at his word instead of fact checking his statement. And then also, not a single air traffic controller, not a single person who works on radar, not a single person who works with safety within the FAA has been fired. So that was also false. Now, here's where things get even worse. She decided to stealth edit the piece. You'll see here, according to this screenshot, Associated Press, upper right-hand corner, the article was updated late last night, February 17th. But there's no statement about, hey, we're retracting this, or hey, we're editing this. It's just updated. So fortunately, we have the Wayback Machine, which is what I showed you. And for those of you unfamiliar, the Wayback Machine essentially takes screenshots of these pages. So that right there is a screenshot of the original version that she wrote. So again, just take a look at this. You'll see her name, her photo at the very bottom, what I just read to you at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. And again, let's just take a look at his quote just so it's fresh on everyone's mind. The official Doge Facebook page started harassing me on my personal Facebook account, okay? So that's the original version captured on Wayback Machine. Here is the stealth edit version, again, without any retraction, without any explanation as to what they changed or why they changed it. You'll notice the ending is a lot longer now. They added an ad. If we take a look in, they added a brand new paragraph at the very top. They decided to criticize Musk a new way. They brought up the Nazi salute yet again. Spitzer Statlanter is Jewish and was angered by Musk's straight arm gesture at Trump's inauguration. So, they added that hit against Elon Musk. And then here's how she rewrote it. Spitzer Statlanter said that the post drew the attention of a Facebook account labeled Department of Government Efficiency, which reacted with a laughing emoji. Again, she hasn't retracted the previous article. She hasn't retracted the way she originally wrote it. A laughing emoji, I'm not sure I would call that harassment. It would be pestering, it would be annoying, it would be like a poke, but not harassment. And then they include a statement by Caroline Levitt. But of course, there was no correction, there was no retraction, no statement explaining what they had gotten wrong, why they had gotten it wrong. It was just a stealth edit. But we shouldn't be surprised that this is coming from a news organization that continues to live in a state of denial. Personally, I prefer to live in the state of Daniel. As always, that is just my analysis and commentary. That is what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So, Kevin O'Leary had quite a few hot takes. He's saying he's happy with what Doge is doing, but he thinks they should go faster, harder, deeper. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.